Welcome back to Harbour Unboxed. Today we are building my youngest daughter, Tessa, a new computer. You can say hi to everyone.
Hello.
Tess has a bit of a cold. Well, it's the one I gave you, isn't it?
Yeah.
So she got the influenza that I had, but you're almost better. So,
Almost.
And your birthday's in a few days?
Yeah.
How old are you going to be?
9.
She's going to be 9, and so she's ready for a new computer. Now, the computer you have been using, this is the one you've had pretty much your whole life. I think you started using this around 3 years old.
Yeah.
So she's pretty tech savvy, pretty competent on the computer, but this is an old test system of mine that I could let Tess use. So she's been using this for the last 6 or so years. It's a Core i7, a 4770K. It's got 16 gigabytes of DDR3 1600 memory. It's a NVIDIA GTX 980, I think it is a 980 Ti maybe, something like that. All-in-one liquid cooler that rattles and makes a bit of noise now, so it's probably on its last legs, but it seems to still work. So anyway, this is Tessa's old computer. It has started to slow down on you, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's getting really slow, and you've got into Photoshop now.
Yeah.
So Tessa's loving her Photoshop. She also does like to game and stuff. But yeah, starting to slow down, so time for a new computer. So a birthday build. We did this with Zoe last year. Now it's your turn. So you excited?
Yeah.
Really, really excited? All right, well, I reckon we should get the new parts and start building a new computer. This is going to be your new motherboard. Does it look good on the box? You happy with that? Mm-hmm. So it is an X670E motherboard from Asus. It's the Prime version. Pretty decent board. It's going to work well for Tessa, that's for sure. And obviously an AM5 motherboard. So we will be having a new Ryzen or Zen 4 processor put on it. So I think we're going to start with the board. We'll take that out. I'll get Tess to slot in the memory. We'll put in the CPU, and then this will go in her new case, which we'll get to shortly. All right, we'll take this out of the box. I'll take this out because sometimes they stab your fingers because they've got a lot of metal soldering on the back, and sometimes it can be a bit spiky. All right, so here's our motherboard. Still looking good? All right, you want to put the memory on it? Okay, so Corsair did provide some of their new Vengeance memory in white, Vengeance RGB stuff, DDR5 6000. Hasn't arrived in time, so we didn't want to delay the build because we want to get this ready in time for Tessa's birthday. So I've got some Dominator Platinum on hand from Corsair. So we're going to use this for a little while, but you do have some white memory modules coming. But you probably don't really care too much what the color is, do you? You just want it to work well, don't you? All right, so you can put the memory in. So the first step with putting the memory in is, see these tabs here? Yeah. You want to pull them back. So you want to give that a go? Yeah. You got the grey ones we want to do. So, yeah. Pull. Yep, that's it. And do the other one. They can be a bit tricky. That's it. Mm-hmm. Now, with the memory, usually that label there faces towards the CPU. So they'll go in that way, like that. So you want to give that a go? Mm-hmm. That's it. That's a good way of doing it. Yep. And now, yep, just push quite firmly. Can you try not to wobble it from side to side because that could break it. Just try and push down. See if you can do it. Can be quite, yeah. There you go. You did it. Yep. So it's surprisingly difficult to push these things in. You have to use quite a bit of force. So that one you can pop in. You're good at lining them up. And there you go. Good job. So we've got the memory in. Now, the scary part. So we have for you, your new CPU is a Ryzen 9 7900. That sounds fast, doesn't it? Tess nodded. So you want to put this, we've got to put that in there. But we can't, if you drop it or whatever, we'll mess it all up. But I didn't let Zoe do it, but I'm going to let you do it. Because I probably should have let Zoe have a go. So we'll open this up. You reckon you got it? All right, you got to lower it and put it into the socket. Oh, you dropped it, but the good news is you dropped it perfectly. So it'll be fine. There you go. So you want to, it's very difficult, and you've got nails. So I think that's probably going to make it hard for you to get it close enough down. But you want to get it all the way down and lower it in. But anyway, you didn't damage it, so that's a good job done. So we'll close that up. That pops off, and there you go. Now you've got your CPU installed. Good job. All right, Tessa, we're going to put this aside, and then we're going to get your brand new case, which I think you're pretty excited for.
Yes, very.
All right, good. So here is your new case under this cloth. I'll pull it back to reveal it for you, and you can see it. So This is the area you want to be focused on. You ready? Here we go.
Oh my god! That's so cool.
So this was done by Aftershock PC. They made this custom case for Tessa. It's got your name on it.
Okay.
And what's your favourite animal?
A zebra.
Yep. And there we go. Zebra for Australians, but you watch a lot of American YouTube, don't you?
Yeah.
And look, there's one even on the back here.
Oh my god.
Is that cool? So there's your new case. So we're going to put everything in that. And yeah, build it up. It should be good. Happy with that?
Yeah.
You look happy with it. You're just going to stare at it all the time. Actually, there's one more thing. I'll grab that. Yep, in here, this goes on the back of the graphics card. Have you seen, you remember Zoe's, how she has a thing on the back of the graphics card? You can't, because it's so high up, it's hard to see now. But, check this out. I opened it.
Oh my gosh.
It's another zebra. They've got the moon in the background, some cool stuff going on. So that's going to sit on the back of your graphics card, and it's got some lights in it and stuff, so it'll light up as well. Mm-hmm. Very cool. So we'll get to that shortly. All right, so I'm going to take both of the case doors off so we don't scratch it. All right, so you can put the board in, Tess, get it in there roughly, and then I'll line it all up for you. It's very heavy. Oh, it's caught your jumper. That's all right. You're right now. All right, this is very tricky. Oh, you've done it well. Good work. So now we just have to line that up, and that's it. You did all the hard work. So now I'll screw that in quickly, and then we'll look at putting the cooler on it. Mm-hmm. We've got the motherboard installed now. I've screwed that in, but Tess landed it in there. She did a good job of that. She's got the memory installed and the CPU installed. So what do you reckon's next? What do you reckon we should put on the CPU?
The cooler? The
cooler? And do you remember your old cooler, how it was that black one? And it was made a rattly noise? Mm-hmm. Well, wait there. I'll get the new one. Tessa, this is your cooler. Does that look like a cooler to you?
Yeah.
It's got fans, so you usually use the fans to cool down. You like fans, don't you?
Yeah.
So this is the, can you say that word there?
Right?
Ryujin. I think it's Ryujin, yeah. So good work. 360 ARGB. It's an ROG. It's Asus, of course, because they've helped us out with the whole build. Don't know if I've mentioned that yet, but you guys will probably work it out as we go. But yeah, Asus provided all the parts just as they did for Zoe's, and then we got Aftershock to help with the case and the GPU backplate. So anyway, I think we'll get this out, and then we'll go about installing it in the case. So you can open those if you want. So there's the fans in there, actually, and there. So do you want to open those? Yeah. You can open them. And I'll dig out the cooler. There you go, one fan. I'll get out of the plastic bags. Oh, they're in nice little Ziploc bags. So these are magnetic fans, so there's no wires that you have to worry about. They connect together, and I'll let you do that. You can show how that works. So if you put these fans, try and clip those two. Actually, I haven't done that, they're up. Try and clip those two together. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. So that's really easy, and the magnets are very strong. And then you can put this one on, which would go like that.
Wow.
And there you go. And then we just got to screw them onto the radiator, and they'll have a cable that connects there, and that'll power them all up. Yeah, so this is the cable that connects to the fans, which will pop in down the connector there, and it would go around that way. And this gives the fans power so they can spin. And then that is the ARGB control, so you can make them all your favourite colours. What's your favourite colour?
Blue.
So you can make it blue. And you like purple as well, don't you? Mm-hmm. Yep, so you can even make them alternate blue and purple or all kinds of things. But again, super easy. Just like that. How cool is that?
Very cool.
So we will look at getting this all into the case. So I think we'll attach that to the CPU first. I think this cooler's been used before. It's probably a demo cooler or something like that from Asus because the thermal paste had been used on it. So we've applied some thermal paste to the CPU. We're now going to pop the cooler on, and then we'll mount the radiator.
6.5 hours later.
Okay, we hit a bit of a roadblock. This case, the H5 Elite from NZXT, doesn't support 360mm radiators, which for those of you who are familiar with this case would have realized that. I actually did know that because we built in this case for Zoe. We had a 240mm. Anyway, it's not necessarily anyone's fault because we didn't know what case we were going with when we got all the parts from Asus. And then speaking with Aftershock, it turned out this was the case that we actually had to use for the design that we wanted to go with. So anyway, as I said, not really anyone's fault there, not Asus's fault. If anything, it was my fault for not double checking all the parts once we'd settled on the case. The good news is that we do have a DeepCool 240mm liquid cooler in white, crucially, that we can use. So we had that on hand. So apologies to Asus that we weren't able to use one of their... They were going to try and send us a cooler quickly. They only had them available in black. White's probably going to look better. So anyway, we're going to pop this in and the show will go on, won't it?
Yep.
All right, Tessa, I'm going to pop the cooler on. And do you want to do up the thumb screws?
Yep.
You seem to be pretty good at that. So I will land that right there. Looks pretty good to me. Gee, they come close to the M.2, but that's all right. Okay, that's on. You want to put up, you can do maybe that one there. Can you see that okay?
This one?
Got it first go?
Yep.
Oh, I find those fiddly. You're too good at this. Well, you can do the one at the back now if you want. That's enough pressure. I can feel it pushing the cooler down. Yeah, that's it. Do the one opposite it. That's perfect. Perfect technique there, Tessa. Have you done this before?
Nope.
Oh, well. Just somehow lucking it in first go without even reading the manual. Okay, we're going to mount the radiator in the top of the case. Hopefully that's what we're going to be doing. Work out how we're going to do that in a moment. But we're going to stick with the Asus fans because Tess loves the magnets. And we don't actually have the fans for the DeepCool liquid cooler. They were used in a different build for reasons that I won't get into. They're unavailable is what you need to know. So we're going to do a hybrid Asus DeepCool all-in-one liquid cooler because yeah, these are really cool, aren't they? Mm-hmm. So we will do that now. All right, Tess, do you want to attach that fan? So you got to line up the gold fingers. So turn it around. Where are the gold fingers? Do they line up? No, you got to flip it around. You can do a Rubik's Cube. You can work this out. Good job. Perfect. Yep. And then we just got to do the rest up. Tessa's got the fans installed on the radiator and we think that's going to fit into position. Well, we're about to find out anyway. So to do this, we need to screw it in from the top. But see, this is another, you like the magnets, don't you?
Yes.
You're a big fan of the well, this is magnetic. But if you put your hand on it and sort of pull it back, it'll peel off. So you want to give that a shot? Yep, try and... It does for my hands. There you go. See that? I told you. So I was lying to you, didn't you? Look at all those, see all those magnets? So now you got that removed. We'll put that out of the way. And you'll need the screwdriver. And I'll give you 2 of these screws. Mm-hmm. Now, see the hole there? Yeah. You want to put a screw in there? I'll just hold that in place for you. Yep, there you go. Yeah, it might be easier to start it by hand. Yeah, they can be a bit fiddly. That's a good screwdriver, that one. It's got a magnetic tip. So that'll hold it in place for you. There you go. Is that going?
I think so.
Yep, you got it. Now it is in position. We've put a few more screws in, but you've locked it in place. So that's the main thing. Well, the main thing is it actually fits. So if we stand this up, that's where we're at. So we've got the liquid cooler on there now. Different model than what we started with, but it fits. We've still got the white tubing and everything, and the cooler is installed up the top. We have the Asus fans on there, the magnetic ones that Tess really likes. So we'll run the cable to those, and we should be able to Frankenstein this together so it all works. Okay, Tessa, we will pop this back on. So it's just magnetic, which you like. So you just got to line it up. You can slide it on like that, I think. Looks like it's going. Yep. Just get that all lined up. Looks like you've done it already. Perfect. All right, we'll stand it up. So that's where we're at. time for the power supply. That's important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because what does it do? What does a power supply do?
Makes the whole computer work.
It powers it up?
Yep.
Yep. It's sort of in the name, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, power supply, ROG Strix edition, obviously an Asus power supply, and it is the Aura edition. So it's not the ROG Strix edition. I mean, it kind of is, but it's the Aura edition. So it's got some lighting on it there. You're not going to see it in this case, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like, even though it is a pretty cool looking power supply. I don't know why I'm telling you that it's a cool looking power supply without actually showing you that it's a cool looking power supply. It's very heavy. It should fit in this case, no dramas. I'm certain it will. So does that look a bit fancy to you?
Yeah.
It's got like a honeycomb mesh over it. So it's a bit of a shame you won't see it. And all the cables plug in there.
Yeah.
And go to all the various devices. So you reckon we should do that?
Yeah.
All right. All right, you want to dig all the cables out and take them out of there?
Yep.
All right, you do that. And I'll work out.
It's in a bag.
It is in a bag, yeah.
The bag inside a bag.
It's a bag, and then there's just cables everywhere. Do you need something to open it? Oh, yeah, I reckon you can do that. Come on, you can do it. Good work, muscles.
Yeah.
All right, Tessa's got those all laid out nicely for us. You want me to chuck that in the box, which is our bin?
Yep.
Our bin box.
Inbox.
So they're not white cables, though. It's not a white power supply, but we're not going for a full white theme anyway. It's sort of a white-black theme. So, and you've obviously got the colours for your system and all that. So I'll probably connect these up quickly.
Yep.
And then once we've done that, because this is boring cable management stuff, the people don't like watching this. It's just boring. So I'll do this quickly. And then we'll get your graphics card and we'll put your cool backplate on it, your zebra backplate.
Yay.
Or zebra backplate, sorry. We have the power supply in, all the cables are now connected. Tess was very patient while I did the cable management. We'll probably get a photo of that. It looks pretty good for the time we invested. But that's all done, and really, all we've got to do now is put in the graphics card, which is important because you like to play Forza Horizon 5. Dirt 5 is a big favourite of yours, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Dirt 5. What else do you like to play? Just the simple games that Zoe likes, like Roblox and that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
So Dirt 5 is probably the most demanding thing, or Forza Horizon 5. But there'll be no doubt many more games in your future. We have a very good graphics card for you to go in here. You guys may have noticed we haven't installed any storage. Now, Corsair was sending over, or is sending over an SSD. But for now, we're going to use her old Corsair SSD in the meantime. I'll clone that to the new one when she gets it, or we might do a fresh install, work that out. Once we've wrapped up the build, I will chuck in her old SSD, so she's got all her games and everything at the ready, and we'll get some footage of Tess playing a couple of games on it. But just if you guys were wondering if we'd forgotten the storage or whatever, haven't forgotten the storage. There's just, there's a good reason for why we haven't tackled that. Anyway, I feel how heavy that is.
Wow.
It's surprisingly heavy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, this is the Asus TUF Gaming Radeon RX 7900 XT. And to you, you're like, okay, I don't know what that means. But so Zoe got she got a GeForce RTX 4080. And this is fairly similar depending on the games you're playing in terms of performance. Very fast, very powerful GPU. So there'll be a few jealous viewers that you're getting this GPU. But lucky you've been a good girl. Hey?
Yeah.
You're lucky. So thank you to Asus for sending this over. And I, like I did with Zoe's, have given it a little custom touch that'll suit this build a bit better because this is a dark sort of gunmetal grey card, which looks good. Suits darker builds quite well. But this is not a dark build. It's more of a lighter build. I'll pull this out over here and I'll let you open it up. So here it is. So you can lift it up from the sides.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty big. It's pretty big, actually. It's really big.
Yes,
I forgot how big it was after I painted it. So we've painted it white for you, so it suits the build. So there you go. So that is your big graphics card. Pretty cool. And it's in white. The backplate I just roughly painted white because we're about to stick on your zebra backplate, which I think looks a bit cooler than my white paint job. All right, so I'll grab that. We'll stick that on. Thank you, cameraman. And then we'll pop this in the build, connect up the power cords, and then it's time for you to play some games and maybe do a bit of Photoshop. What are you more excited for, Photoshop or games?
Photoshop.
Ooh, I thought that might be... Tessa loves her artwork, and you've done some pretty impressive stuff in Photoshop already, I've got to say, so we might show some of that. Well, we'll get this set up, and then you can, I suppose, I'll make you play some games first for the audience, and then you can play with Photoshop. Cool. All right. We're going to stick that on like that. I don't know if we can aim that at the camera. And I have to say, what do you think of that?
It looks amazing.
You like it?
Yeah.
Think we should go with it? Think Aftershock did a good job?
Yeah.
I think they did as well. It looks awesome. I'll install the graphics card for Tessa because it is very heavy and awkward, and I won't make her do that because it's probably not going to be much fun. All right, so we've got the PCIe covers off, the brackets, and in terms of length, it's tricky. It's tricky. I'm going to have to lay this down flat because I think we have millimeters to play with here. Very slow movements here, Tess. And we're slowly wriggling it in inch by inch. Success. So we actually end up having about 10 mil of space free. But yeah, so it does fit quite nicely in the end. Just 10 mil's not a lot of play to get it in. All right, Tess, you want to peel the sticker off? I know you love doing that. You can give us a satisfaction rating on that sticker. It's got a bit of fight in it. There you go. All right, we've got the graphics card in. It's all wired up and connected. We think it's going to work. So, Tess, which one do you reckon is the power button? Yeah, you want to hit it and see what happens? Wow, the front looks good. People can't see that, but we'll get some footage of it. How does it look on that side?
It looks very cool.
Yeah? Awesome. Oh, we can put the other Asus fan we've got in the back of the case, so we might do that before we wrap it up. But, yeah, it's loud, so we'll have to control all the fan speeds, but we had the same problem with Zoe's when it first turned on. We had to install the Armory Crate software, adjust all the fan speeds. Obviously, we can control the RGB lighting. So I think what we'll do is, we'll turn it off, we'll put your storage in it, we'll install all the appropriate software, we'll work out what colours you want, and we'll go from there.
Yep.
Thumbs up? Is it good?
Yeah.
Wow, I think that went really well. What do you reckon?
It's amazing.
A lot faster than your old one?
Yeah.
And what do you think of the looks of it?
It looks amazing.
Did Aftershock do a good job?
Yeah.
Zebra's cute?
Yeah.
On a 1 to 10, how cute's a zebra?
10.
Ooh, okay, good job Aftershock PC. And of course, thank you to Asus for providing the bulk of the components. Very cool looking system. Probably one of the rare occasions where I think what do they call it? The rainbow puke, the unicorn vomit lighting. Because you wanted the rainbow, didn't you?
Yeah.
We did a couple of static colors, which you may see in some B-roll already, or may have seen. But Tess is very creative, loves her colors, and in the end decided that one of the rainbow settings was the way forward for her. So that's what we've gone with. I think it suits the build. Very colorful, very out there. But yeah, so you're happy with it?
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's good, because you should be. Very cool build, but you did a good job helping me build it as well. It's a bit of a shame that she's very congested. Normally you're very chatty, aren't you?
Yeah.
But she's struggling to talk. Every time she talks, she needs to sniff. So, a bit unfortunate, but obviously we can't delay the build because it's your birthday in a matter of days.
Yes.
And I did promise you a new computer for your birthday so you can use Photoshop. I've got to limit how much she uses the computer because you would just Photoshop till you drop, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
She absolutely loves it. But you've only been using Photoshop for about 2 weeks now?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, about 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and you're getting pretty good at it already, so that's really cool to see. Anyway, we'll probably wrap it up there. It was a lot of fun, but you've hung in there well. It's been multiple hours of work today to get this all done. We'll go set it up in the house so you can use all your monitor and peripherals and all that. And yeah, cool. Well, thanks guys for watching. Thanks for supporting, and we'll see you in the next one.